So you just spawned naked on a beach in Ark Ascended. Dodos are cute, but that T-Rex eyeing you? Not so much. Ever wonder how to survive past the first 5 minutes without becoming Dino Chow? Well, this video is going to show you the exact strategies to not just survive, but thrive in your very first day. I'm strapping, and I'm going to make sure that you don't end up dead on a beach day one. All right, we're going to go through. The first thing we want to be doing is we just want to be grabbing at everything, right? All the bushes. This is official rates, like evolution events, which typically happen every weekend, holidays, all that stuff. So, we are working toward getting our first engram unlocked. So we're going to work on our stone pick, our hatchet, our spear, our campfire. Okay. So we open up our crafting menu, we hover over it, stone, wood, and thatch. That's what we need. Sometimes stone can actually be a pain, and it gets frustrating because you see all these stones laying around, but you can't pick them up, right? Here we go. See how that stone looked a little different? We got our stone, and we need wood and thatch, so let's get over here and start punching some trees. There we go. Need 10 thatch. Pretty hardcore. Alright, we got enough. We're going to craft one of those up. You can either drag it down to your hotbar or hit the number that corresponds to the hotbar position you want it in while you're hovered over it. Look at us. Look, we already got a pick. We're getting some berries that we're going to be able to eat on our journey here to prevent us from starving to death. And we're also collecting very precious narco berries along the way, which we'll get into, but that's what you're going to use to make your narcotics to keep your dinos knocked out. We're just grabbing some stuff. All right, we got to make sure. I mean, you get your first few levels super fast. I like to focus on my LA damage. All right, we're gonna wait on the thatch. You can do a sleeping bag. I mean, that comes in handy. All right, we need to get some flint to make our hatchet. Some of the rocks you can get, some of them you can't. All right, we got our flint. Make our hatchet, and we're going to make a few spears. They do break, so put our hatchet down in 2. Spear down in 3, and look at that, we're already at another level. All right, now we're going to change focus over to getting hide. Easiest things for you to be killing at this stage in the game are all your little beach roaming dinosaurs. Our dodos. Yes, they're cute, but we need them to survive. This is where your increased melee comes in handy. If they have a baby near them, they will attack, no matter what the dino is. Normally they would run away. Alright, hatchet, wicked dodos. Hatchet's gonna give you focused on hide. Pick would give you increased meat. Alright, now we're looking for the bow. That is our next big upgrade we're looking for. We've got our narcotics unlocked. To make our narcotic, we need the mortar and pestle. There's nothing else up here that we necessarily need right now. We will want a bed. But our next one is going to come at level 10. That's going to be our bow. So these little guys here, any of the babies that are out there, I know, again, it seems vicious, but that's what it is. They will give you prime meat. See, he gave us 1 piece of prime. That's important to remember because as we progress into taming, prime meat is what works very well for taming your carnivores. Since they added the babies, makes it very easy to get, right? And we got 2 pieces of prime out of him. Now, all this stuff does expire. If you look, the spoil time's 4 minutes. That's in our inventory. It'll last longer, and like a dino's inventory. Yeah. We're hunting dodos. That's what we're doing. All the stuff that's easy to kill, turtles, huge health pools, not easy to kill at this stage. We're also, while we're out here, you know, we're looking for where do we want to set up? Where do we want to be living? Where are we going to call home? Our goal is to get established as quick as possible. These dodos murdering these things is definitely giving us some XP, helping us level. One more level and we get our bow and arrow. You notice our food and water, right? We're doing okay, even though we're running everywhere. The more physical activity you do, the faster your food and water will drain, right? So if you're running all over, harvesting materials, here we go. Now we got quite a bit of hide, right? We've got 51 pieces of hide, so that's good. That's awesome. Health, melee, and weight. That's where you're living right now. All right, now we've got our bow and our arrow. Now we need some wood. If we use, obviously, the hatchet on a tree, focuses us on wood. If we use... You always slow down when you craft, too. Pick gives you a thatch. Getting all kinds of levels. All right, now we need to make some arrows, right? We pull up our crafting menu. Flint was our limiter there. We need to get a little more flint. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell which rocks are harvestable. I don't know that these are harvestable. They are. Sometimes it'll help you if you crouch. Look, we went swimming. So we got our water refilled. And we are getting heavy, y'all. Also keep in mind, spears are heavy. All right, while we're here, let's craft up our campfire. Get some of this meat cooking. I mean, right now we're being pretty efficient. Now, if you're new to this area, right? You wanna pick something a place where you can easily identify where you're at. Throw our meat and our wood on there. Bring that down. Knock an arrow. Turtles, they won't, Arbonemus or whatever the heck they're called. They won't attack you unless you hit them. I like to put my meat in my last slot. Keep it down and ready to use, but not in the way. And then we can start kind of branching out and exploring a little bit here. Taking it in, checking things out. Seeing what's out there for carnivores that are going to take us out. Going to circle back to our campfire. Our meat has been cooked. Turtle's hardcore. Just climbing right through the fire there, bud. Alright, so now we got a few pieces of cooked meat. I think it's 4 of those. Typically at this stage of the game will fill us up. Ate 1 earlier, 3 more. Alright, now, that is a top level dodo. 2 shots, we step over them, we collect what arrows it would let us. We're harvesting hide. Focusing on hide. Hide. We're gonna get some meats regardless, so just trying to get as much hide as we can. I hear a dodo, there he is. Boom. Smoked him. Depending on the situation, you know, sometimes it's easier to be first person or third person. For me. We are murdering every dodo we come across. Level 145, see it come up above his head. Now, a lot of this stuff you get headshot multipliers, right? Now, this Moss Chops, he'll go down a little harder, but he should give us quite a bit of hide. Hear the combat music. Ooh. Switch it up here. Where all that melee we've been putting in is going to come in handy. There we go. Collect our arrows. Look at all that hide. All right, now we got plenty of hide, right? Let's head back to our campfire. We should have got some levels there. Oh, yeah, nice, 3 levels. All right, let's start looking at our weight. Right, we want to start crafting our first base. We're gonna go right for the wood. That's where we want to be. We know we're gonna need the base, you know, the foundations, walls. We're gonna need doors. A very good early base design is to also get the sloped walls and the wood roof ramp. All right, now on our way back, we're picking up a little wood, right back to our fire. Keeping an eye on our weight. Up. Takes a lot of wood. Look, I mean, we are doing great, though. We're not very far into this thing, and we got a good jump. And we haven't even died yet. So what we're looking for is we're looking for 6 foundations. I like to start with 6. All right. We're just always looking for some resource. Hide is so important. We're not even hurting right now. Let's keep pumping that weight. Higher the weight, the more stuff we can carry. Right? I mean, we're unlocking it faster than we need to use it, right? All right, see, we're getting heavy, we're flashing yellow, but now watch when we craft, our weight drops back down, right? Because the crafted item somehow weighs less than the raw material. So, get our last little piece of meat there. We're going to set up right on the beach. We're going to set up right on the beach here. All right, we want 3 more of them. Gotta focus in on wood. Also, at this point, we need to get ourselves a bed crafted up. Now that we're making a base, we need a bed, and we need a place to store things, right? Our first unlock is the storage box, and somewhere down here, large storage and bookshelf. All right, we can make one of those. We're gonna make one. And then right here in the back, I like to try to center that one up. Oop, we're going to put it right there. Now, all the heavy stuff that we can't use right now, all of our berries, we are going to stick in this box. Make sure you hang on to this spoiled meat. That's going to be important here in a minute. We can put some of that back on the fire. We can continue cooking. Stack of 40. Nope. Okay, so we've got just our essentials on us, which means we're staying light. Some tough dodos out here. The bed, thatch, and wood. Make sure we use our level up. Putting it into weight. That is not smackable. Smackable? Ah. Alright, we got wood. Thatch. I'm hearing lots of dodos. I see you, dodo. I think we got him. Did we not get him? Sometimes if you lose stuff, you can... Oh! What in the heck hit us? There it is. Did not die. It's got a baby. Look, you can also claim the babies. Ooh, we completed one of those missions. Alright, now when you do that, they're going to automatically follow you, right? Are you going to use this dodo for anything? Maybe. You can tame up these babies, right? You can take them, and then just stick some berries on them that you don't care about, right? You want to keep the narco. Don't care about stem berries right now. We just want that little dude to kind of follow us over here, because when we get ready to tame up a carnivore, we're going to process them down to raw prime meat. Come on, bird. Let's go, bud. You got little legs. They walk slow. Don't get attached to them. All right, that's close enough. So we're going to whistle stop all. Going to stop following us. Bring this back up. We should be able to craft our bed. Good. Let's come over here and let's throw our bed down. Right there. Looks like a good spot. I like it. These right here, you can harvest these. Why that didn't. You'll also notice, like, different trees, everything has a different health pool. Like, the higher the health pool, the more resources you can get. So to repair this, we need to get a flint. Luckily, there's a rock right here. All right. We just simply push the key, and it of the item that's broken and it will repair it automatically. No need to throw it away and craft a new one. Our health is our weight is looking real nice. We hear our leveled up music. See, we're over encumbered. We're slowed down. Big time. We need 3 of these? Yeah. Needs thatch. Get out the pick. Gets us thatch. Over wood. Back to the hatchet. Wood over thatch. We're already level 19. 20. Need 1 more of those, and we know we need a bunch of walls, so we're just gonna craft all the walls we can get. Our weight's back down. Let's keep going. Craft our walls. We can make 4. Now, all that fiber we collected while we were out picking up berries. Okay. It's looking like we're starting to need some more. We need to focus in on the mejo berries and the narco berries. Your mejo berries are the purple berries like this. Those are the best taming berry. Your narco berries, black ones, are what you're going to use to your narcotics, right? Everything we do grants us XP. Every time we harvest something, every time we craft something, just existing in the world grants you XP. As long as you're living and progressing the game, you're always getting some XP. All right. We ran out of firewood there. Let's throw our foundations down. All right. Now we got a nice little starter platform. Now, this is up to you. You can mouse and keyboard. You hit R and you can change what it looks like that you're building. You know, if it's a window or a door frame. I personally, this is my favorite starting design to go. You get some durability with the wood. We can start putting our hide away. Don't need to be carrying it around. Wood, thatch, and fiber, that's what we need. So we need 3 more walls along the front, 2 in the back. And then trust me, we're gonna need 2 more up there. So 7. We need 7 walls to get us going. Right? I don't like when I walk into my base, I don't like my ceiling to be right at my head. Right? And so with a peaked roof design, it just kind of keeps things up a little bit, makes it feel better, especially when you're just starting out. There's 3 of our 7. They're going to need some water here soon. Completed another mission. We've got 6 of our 7. By the way, A crafts everything that you can make off of, right? You hover over an item, mouse and keyboard, you push A, will craft all of it. Let's keep working on our melee. All right, 1 more. Now we need 4 of these sloped walls. Now our guy's thirsty. He's also hungry, and food will typically give you a little bit of water depending on the food that it is, right? So if you eat berries, berries will give you some water. We'll head back down towards the water. All right, so we got our 4 slopes. Let's put weight to 200. A level 22. We're looking freaking good. Ooh. One more hide. All right. So I like the double door frames. And then right up here above each one of these in the middle, we're going to put a window. Going to let some light in, not going to be quite as dark. And then we'll put our slopes right there. Okay. Now what do we need? We need 4 sloped, we need 4 roof ramps, and we need 2 ceiling. So it's raining. Our water is going to go up. The rain will not put your fire out. Glint again. See, these round rocks also, they will give you some metal, right? And that makes it much easier when you're starting out. Oh, I hate these birds. Look, I mean, you got a choice. You can either fight them or run. They can be tough to hit. I don't know where he dropped that. They take stuff out of your inventory and then they eat it and destroy it. I don't know where he went. Doesn't matter. Moving on. All right, back to getting some more wood. Look, we haven't even hit nighttime here, and look at how far we've progressed. Okay, and you'll get to know the sounds, right, of the dino. Like I think I just heard a dilo, you know, one of those little spitting dinosaurs that make your vision turn green. We were trying to get this base completed before day 1 in art is over. We need 3 more ramps. 1 more. I'm gonna need thatch. Thatch doesn't weigh much, so we're just gonna harvest it up. Have a little extra on us. Love how beautiful this game is. So awesome. We got some levels we can put on. All right, let's look at our health, our weight. Keep moving that along. Back up here, got a standing torch. We want to be able to see what's going on, right? Oh, we also need a door. Start our fire to go out. All right. Oh, he just picked up our baby dodo. He murdered it. What a jerk. We're gonna get him. Maybe. There's one. He's hurting. There we go. We got him. We got him. Big mean bird. All right. Let's get out of the rain. Oh, we had it. Frickin' had it. All right. What? I guess I miscounted. One more. Gonna stick it there. Look at that. 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 All right. Now we unlock that standing torch because we want to be able to see. We are going to put that standing torch right here off the corner of our chest. Put some wood in it. Light that fire. Look at that. Come over here. We're going to take everything. We're going to save that charcoal, everything. We're going to pick up our campfire. You will not burn your base down. We're going to disable that snapping so we can just really put it wherever we want. We're going to wedge it right up in the corner. Put our meat back on there. I mean, I'm feeling good about where we're at. You know, feeling good about where we're at and what we've found. I mean, day 1, if you want, you can put some windows up there, shutters, I mean. You know, prime example of why you can't get too attached to dinos early on in the game. All right, let's look and see. We got to make a mortar and pestle. You know that because we want to start making narcotics. Okay. We want to improve our tools and our situation there. So we're going to need a refining forge, a smithy, metal pick, metal hatchet. And we've now unlocked the trank arrow, which is 1 narcotic and 1 stone arrow. Look at that. We've got a crossbow. We can either burn the engram points now. We can come back to it. We got plenty right now. We can just burn that up on the pike. Let's open this up. Our crafting, we need hide, wood, flint, and stone. Go to our chest. We've got hide, flint, stone. Said those backwards. Womp womp. All right. We can venture out in the dark. We can be brave, y'all. We know we need stone. So here we go. After the stone, we need a lot of it. Crouch down, makes it a little easier to hit. We use our hatchet on the rocks, and that gives us stone. If we use our pickaxe, it's going to give us more flint. After this rock, we'll see where we're at material-wise. See, we're tired and swinging, and we're starting, our torpidity is going up, which means we will get knocked out. We just need 25 more stone. Eat 4 pieces of meat. Oh, come on. Oh, not your fist. Needed some flint. And some wood. Alright, we got some wood there. We're gonna need more wood. I think it was 25 wood. See some of these stones that also give us metal when you use your pick on them. Alright, look, we can craft our refining forge. Alright, we're gonna switch this over to pick. Here we got 1 metal. Now you can run around. Yeah, you know, I recommend you. It depends on how you want to play the game. You can either look up the, the wiki, and you can look at the resource map and find where your closest metal nodes are, right? And that's gonna be an easy way for you to locate the metal node resource. Or you can go around and hit your river rocks. Don't get much out of those. Your round rocks, smooth, typically, think like this one, and you'll get a metal here and there. Right, you're not looking, your first ones, you aren't looking for a ton of metal. There's a couple of big sharks there. You just need some to get you going. I think you need 10, right? And as we've been working, we've been saving the metal that we found, the raw metal, right? So now we got 14. We're going to stick this right up in that corner. Throw some wood on it, throw our metal on it, light the fire. Now 2 raw metal will make 1 ingot. Okay? In order for us to craft our smithy, we need 5. 5 metal ingots. We need to go out and get some wood and some stone while that is crafting. Also a good idea, I mean, I find being opportunistic tamer, basically, in art, helps me be successful, right? Sometimes I will have a plan, like I want to tame an X, I want to have a Rex, right? Or I want to have an Argent, right? And those are really good goals. Sometimes, you got to be open to, wow, this is in a really good spot to tame it, a good level. It would really help me progress, and you go with it. I don't think these are the right rocks for metal anyway. You just need a few rocks. All right, so now we just need to wait on our ingots. Finish up. We'll head back to our base. It hasn't even been 24 hours in game, y'all, and we have been just rushing. So we got 4, we just need 1 more. There's 5. Craft up that smithy. Pop that down. All right, now we're gonna start storing these crafting materials on this smithy. That's where we're gonna make our metal tools, our metal weapons, right? We only need 1 ingot to make a metal pick. There it is. We're going to hit T and we're going to transfer our stone pick over. Look at us. We are looking good. Look, we've got, within 24 hours in game, we've got a wooden base. Big enough for a little growth. We've got a respawn point. We got a metal tool. Let's look at our mortar and pestle. And also, while we're out, we need hide. Got 92 hide. While we're out, we are going to focus on getting a little more metal out of these rocks so that we can craft our metal hatchet. See, now we're getting a little more metal out of these. It's a good way to get yourself going, right? Without running into the most dangerous areas, into the unknown, trying to chase down a metal node somewhere. Let's stop. We need to get a little wood. We're going to stop moving for a second. Eat a couple of T-bones. Those actually look like New York strip. Eat a couple of New York strips. We're going to get some wood so we can go back to cooking, smelting. Anytime you leave your base, your goal should always be to come back with some kind of resource. Always come back with a resource. Looking at that, you need a little more stone. I'm surprised. Look, this flint, all this flint that we're gathering right now too, while we're doing this, it's going to come in handy. Put another point in our weight. When we go to make spark powder, start keeping our food fresh. Okay. Let's head our own back before we're overloaded. Them glutes, buddy. Look at them. What surviving on an island will do to you. Solo survival. Okay. Put our metal in here. Look at that. We got 33. We're going to throw some wood in there. Fire it up. We're going to put our gathered resources into that for a minute. Go over here to our campfire. Take out that, and we're going to add in as much raw meat as we can stand. Okay. Let's look at our mortar and pestle. So crafting, we need hide and stone. There's our stone. There's our hide. Craft that up. I like to keep mine over by my campfire. I don't know why, but I like it. You can stick yours wherever you would like. See, so now we've got our narcotics in here. One narcotic is 5 narco berries and 1 spoiled. So we've been saving that stuff, right? Right along. 6 narcotics, just bang, that easy. Stick this back on here. For our hatchet, we just need 8 ingots. We're at 5, it's crafting up. Let's go to our engram point. We're gonna go down. We want spark powder, okay? We want preserving bin. Yeah. So even as this stuff is crafting over here, it's giving us XP, right? Everything that's happening, giving us XP. Let's look at this preserving bin. We need fiber, thatch, stone. We got what little fiber we got. We are short fiber and a little stone. We'll be getting there. There's our 8. Drop that on the table. Craft it. Let's go. We can now get rid of our primitive hatchet and go to a primitive metal hatchet. Look at this. It's just now cracking daylight. We've got 2 metal tools. We are doing good. This is what I'm talking about. Would just be ready to be, you know, be an opportunistic tamer. Okay. I want to look at Ebola. Unlocks level 9. It's 8 points. Cheap to make. This is where you gotta have Dodo Deck, right? You either gotta have it up on your PC or there's Dodo Deck's mobile app. Look, I mean, you cannot play Ark without some kind of taming calculator. It just makes it miserable. All the unknowns, all the variables. Right? How many arrows do I need to knock something in? We're starving. We got meat. Preserving bin was where we were at, and we harvested a bunch of stuff that we didn't even need because I wasn't paying attention to what I was actually doing. We need to just harvest up some fiber. We're getting some narco berries while we're doing this, though. That's good. And, you know, we're going to be getting some mejo berries, which, again, is good. We're fat. We're just going to stroll over to this rock. Hope we get the amount of stone we need. Looks harvestable. Alright. Preserving bin. I think that was all we needed. Can run a little bit. We're a little fat. We're keeping her close to home, you know, for these reasons. Alright, we got our preserving bin. We're going to stick right over here by our bed and by our campfire, right? We're going to put all of our berries in there, minus our narco. Drop our narco berries back on the table. We can make one more. Should have a bunch of berries in here. Put our resources on our smithy. Transfer those over. Yeah, that will let you store just about everything. All right, now we need to get stone and splint. We're gonna come over to our mortar and pestle. We're gonna craft up a bunch of spark powder. Makes 2 per, right, 14, 16, 18, 20. We're gonna let that craft up here just a second. Stick that into our preserving bin, and look. Now our berry has an hour and 15 minutes. Versus when it's in our inventory of 7 minutes. Huge, huge difference. So we're going to stick all of our perishable stuff, all of our cooked meats, our spoiled meats, all that stuff is going to be staying in the fridge now. Look, 1 piece of cooked meat, you know, it's not even full, and we're over 2 hours. That's huge. That's huge at this point in the game. All right, let's look at what we need. We got enough for the crossbow, right? Crossbow is going to help us with taming, how fast we can knock out one of the dinos of choice. All right. We know we're going to need some more arrows. Let's go ahead. We need to go out here. We need to get some rocks. Stone. Rocks. My bad. Cold out here in the water. Our ice cube went back down to a snowflake. Oh, we need fiber and thatch. Whoops. All right. Craft it. Let's craft up a few of these arrows. Okay. Go over here and get our narcotics that we made. All right, so we're going to bring up our dodo decks. And we're going to go... Let Parasaur go. Been roaming around out here forever. There he is. Level 85 male Parasaur. All right, so we look him up on our dodo decks. He is. Make sure you always want to go into your settings and multipliers. Make sure it's on whatever your rate is. In this case, it's an evolution event. Right, so we know it's going to take 33 mejoberries, 9 minutes, 54 seconds, and that it is going to take 3 trank arrows to the head in order to knock him out. We can also use that to see that he's affected by the bola. We need fiber, stone, and hide. We need to go get a little fiber. All right, now we've made our trank arrows. We need to grab those, drag them down to our bow, at our crossbow. We're gonna bring our crossbow up, let it load. All right, now I'm gonna hope I don't mess this up, but it's always good to have some extra arrows, right? Because arc is gonna be arc, and that means that unfortunate things are gonna happen. Servers are gonna lag, whatever. Right, it is standing right by our house right now. A pretty ideal location. Right, we can see it's got the green check mark. All right, we get our bow up. We count 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the trigger. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the trigger. 2, 3, 4, 5. There he goes. Right, we give it that 5 seconds because when you hit a dino with a trank, it slowly brings up their torp. Right, so you give that time to come up a little bit and then hit them with another arrow. You want to be giving it the few seconds. One of the great things that Arc has done is they have added in tracking panel. Right, so you can see all your tames in progress. Look, here's our Parasaur. Right, so we can say, okay, I want to be able to add this as a POI. It tells us, you know, it's showing us how long it's got unconscious. That bar's slowly ticking down, and that is in with its torpidity. Right? It's slowly coming down, and when it gets to 0, it will wake up. We can go back to our tames in progress. It's showing us its health and its food. Now, the reason that the food is important is so that if you want to starve tame, if you don't want to waste a bunch of resources, you can use your dodo decks, put these things in the numbers here, and dodo decks will tell you, like, at what point you can drop all of your kibble on there, and the dino will quickly consume all of them. And then that way, if it dies or something goes wrong, you don't lose those resources, right? So we're going to stick all of our mejoberries on them. Taming percent, it's clicking up about 3%, 3.1% with each bite, right? So our taming effectiveness off these berries so far is 98.8%, which means that it'll gain 42 levels currently. And that will slowly decrease throughout the taming process, and you will lose some taming effective, right? So we just lost 1. That's where it's important, like what foods you're using, right? Kibble is more effective, but essentially the longer they're laying down there, being actively tamed, the more that's going to drop. But this is just the dude to get us going. He's going to be our berry harvester. Right, so we're going to come here. We need to find that parasaur saddle. There it is. We need fiber, wood, and hide. Let's stick these berries. All right, we need fiber, wood, and hide. Let's go on a little hunt here. We got to make sure we take our trank arrows off, right? We don't want to accidentally trank a dodo. Metal tools, much better harvesting. I'm not trying to be a baby dodo murderer. We can get this done without murdering the baby dodo. And look, I mean, I don't plan on running that parasaur into the big fights or anything like that. They do have good weight, and they're good for making like metal runs, you know, this early on. All right, where are we at now? All right, we're good on hide. We just need a little bit of fiber and some wood. Look, we are still just approaching one in-game day, and look where we are. We have, you know, it was light when we woke up on the beach for our first time. We're not even there. I think we had plenty of berries on cellar, but stick some more there just in case. Also, if you want to keep it knocked out, you can put narcotic, just berries on it. Press E on mouse and keyboard, feed it a berry, and its torpidity is going to go up. Not a ton, right? Narcotics will make it go up higher. They're more effective. Put our berries in, oh, we ate it. We ate some raw meat. We did it. It happens. All right, we can make our saddle. All right. He is going to be a great utility tame. So when we look at this guy, right? Weight is 614. Our weight, 220. Right? Parasaurs they're weight carriers for sure. They can also ping out and see what dangerous creatures are in the area. They tame fast. In the grand scheme of Ark, 9 minutes, that's nothing. While we're out here, we'll just, we always got to be doing something, right? Never go back to the base empty-handed. That is, live and die by that rule, right? If you choose to never bring the items you need back to base, everything should always be some kind of run, some kind of supply. I think we used all of our metal, didn't we? Yes. Oh, all right. I saw a bunch of rocks up here. We were out and about. Oh, would you look at that right there, guys? We'd have just looked around. Look, now we got the metal. Look at that. There's a metal node right here, right by our base. Look at all that metal we're getting out of that. That's nice. That is the benefits of the metal tool. Right, I would say even if we had seen that was there, we would have saved that until we got to the metal tool. Right, because we got so much more out of that. The metal tool was easy to make. If we were going to get 30 ingots out of that, that's awesome. We're gonna take half that stack, put it here. All this charcoal that we have, we want to be saving. That's all going to come in handy later when we have to make gunpowder. Gunpowder requires charcoal. We need some stone. We're gonna make some more spark powder. Let that craft up. This, another great feature they've added is a fuel timer, right? So if you're logging off and you're going to be back on in 12 hours, 14 hours, you got enough fuel in, right? But if you're going to be gone for 2 days and you want to try to preserve your stuff, you don't have enough time, but you just craft up a little more spark powder, throw it in, and close it, reopen it. Now we've got 1 day, 13 hours. So we're good. 37 hours. All right, we don't have to worry about, our parasaur just woke up. comes charging over to us. We're going to drag that saddle up into his inventory, up onto saddle position. And now look. Now watch this guy. Left click, we're just getting good amounts of berries. Look at us go. We've got our first really useful tame. He is just harvesting the heck out of stuff. All right, we're going to bring him back here. Park him. We want to grab the narco berries off of him. And now we can craft up some serious narcotics. All right. You want to spoil your meat faster, you bring it to your inventory. You're going to right-click it, you're going to split the stack, split it all, right? Pick your meat that's closest to expiring. 6 minutes away, that's in the fridge, so it's hard to tell. Now, when we transfer that over, it's going to transfer it onto the same time what we had there. We're going to split it all of them that are stacked up, split all. Now, when this expires, each one of these are going to be one piece of spoiled meat, right? As opposed to letting them spoil one at a time off a stack. Look, we can now make our pike, get rid of these. And then let's look at our levels, see where we're at. You can get your sickle, right? Sickles are expensive, but they will harvest you some fiber. We'll unlock our sickle. Water jars are nice, but they're heavy. It does help you exist longer out there without being right on top of a water. So. Ooh, too far. Got a little aggressive. Got a little ahead of myself there. Look, I mean, that's where we're at day one. We have a good tamed utility dino that's getting us our berries. That's going to help us create lots of narcotics to do our taming on our other dinos that we need, right? Just in 30 seconds, knocking the narco berries out. We've got a nice place to live, right? We've got a bed. We've got the preserving bin, fire, the mortar, the pestle. We've got the forge, smithy. We're good, right? I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you've got something out of this that is going to help you thrive day one in Ark Survival Ascended.